I did this in Japan and you can't do this anymore, and I don't quite know how I feel about it. 2 years ago, I stood in Kyoto in a dojo, slightly terrified. Well, actually, I was very terrified, gripping a real katana. I lined it up and I swung at a tatami mat. And it was one of the coolest things I have ever experienced. Slicing through it like butter with both hands was an experience I will never forget. And that moment felt like living out a samurai fantasy or a ninja fantasy. It was powerful, respectful, and I felt that it was safe, or so it seemed anyway. But now it's officially over because Japan's National Police Agency issued a nationwide ban. Tourists can no longer perform tameshigiri, which is a sword cutting practice that was part of several samurai experiences across Japan, where you yielded a sword and basically to test the sharpness against road tatami mats. It was awesome, it was cool, it was an incredible experience. But even in places like Murayama, which is the birthplace of Iaido, this is forbidden. The reason? Well, as mentioned, is Japan's firearms and swords control law, which is one of the strictest in the world. How strict exactly? Well, listen to this, alright? Because in late 2024, Warner Brothers had to recall replica Harry Potter swords. Yes, the sword of Gryffindor was recalled and banned because they were sharp enough to be considered real weapons under Japanese law. These were actually decorative items mounted on wooden plaques and sold for 30,000 yen. But at 86 centimeters long and with sharpened edges, they cross the legal line. Even scissors longer than 6 centimeters can be illegal to carry in Japan. This is a level of detail Japan enforces, and it gives you an idea of why tourist sword experiences were shut down. Sadly so, I think. So police actually cited concerns about safety, especially with the rise of inbound tourism. They're worried not just about accidents, you know, these things can happen, but they can happen in so many other experiences too, right? But they're also worried about someone with bad intentions using the blades. And with 350 sharpened Harry Potter swords being recalled, it's clear that even replicas can trigger legal action. You might be planning to do your own sword experience when you travel to Japan and you didn't know about this new change that went into effect a few months ago. I did my own research, but if you're interested, then I highly recommend that you dive deeper and research yourself because things are always changing. So just remember that. From my experience in Kyoto, it was great. It was terrifying, but in a controlled way. It was exciting. I felt it was respectful. I learned a lot. I experienced a lot, and I have some of my most fondest memories of Japan, going and actually chopping away at those tatami mats. It felt like I had gone straight into history and I had tapped into a part of Japan that I thought I was never going to be able to tap into, and unfortunately it seems that you can't at this moment in time anyway. That's not to say that the act of yielding real swords for sportsmanship, and if you're part of like an Iaido club, or Iaido, is that how you say it? Well, it's kind of strange because originally these experiences were approved and they were even awarded tourism honors, but they've been reversed by the National Police Agency due to injury risk, obviously, and potential for abuse or misuse. And the fact that there's increased tourism volume is actually causing a little bit concern. Tourists can no longer use swords to cut objects, like tatami mats. But here's a debate that I would like you to answer down in the comment section, because as tourist numbers increase, are we actually seeing a decline in trust? Could a few responsible tourists ruin things for everyone? Well, yes, the answer is probably yes. It's not quite known why this ban came into effect fully. Some say that there was some kind of an accident. I've tried to look into it, I haven't found anything. There are no sources out there. If you have any information, let me know. I'd love to know. But does Japan fear that cool experiences could go viral for the wrong reasons? Oh boy. Why, oh why? It's all over. Sad times. Hey, with my imaginary katana sword here. Just a quick reminder that if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. A lot of you actually think that you are, but you're not. I think it's over 80% of viewers watch and return, but don't hit the subscribe button, and it would mean a lot if you did. Anyway, let's get back to it. So from my little bit of a research, I'm not a katana buff, so some of you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but katanas were actually banned during post-World War II occupation under American orders. Many were actually confiscated, some were exported or registered, and only licensed craftsmen or craftwomen can make swords today. Modern laws actually allow ownership, but use is highly restricted. So, as a tourist, what can you do instead, and do I recommend it? You can still visit samurai museums and shrines, and hell yes, go and visit some of those. You can watch live samurai or Iaido demonstrations, and wow, it's something when you see somebody who knows how to yield and use that sword in incredible ways. Wow, wow, wow. Definitely, if you have a chance, make sure that you experience one of those performances. You can also take part in samurai dress-ups, photo shoots, and those aren't too bad. I did my own samurai sort of like dress-up photo shoot thing, walking through Ashikaga, and it was very, very awesome, although very, very hot when I did it. And as I mentioned, you can attend safe martial arts workshops that now clearly state no real katanas are used. Some places offer bokken, which are wooden swords, I believe, or blunt edge swords, workshops for posture and form practice. And if you are part of a club, you can always practice it in its real form, as far as I'm aware. Am I disappointed? Sure, I wanted to do this again, and I've been, recommending you viewers do such a workshop and experience this for yourself for a while, but unfortunately, things have changed. But I also get it. Japan is incredibly safe, and that's what sort of makes Japan special. This is part of how they keep it that way, I think, anyway. Did you ever try this before the ban? I'd love to know in the comment sections how you feel. Do you feel privileged? Do you feel that it's something that should not have happened? How do you feel? Let me know in the comment sections. And should Japan bring it back? Are tourists really that untrustworthy? Let me know. And as always, don't forget to subscribe for more Japan travel changes and interesting topics. Let me know what you think, and check out this video here for more Japan content. Subscribe, etc. Blah, 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 blah. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon. Bye.